Maybe you heard what happened to the pilot of a small commuter flight a few years ago. The pilot heard a noise coming from the rear of the plane, so he turned the controls over to the co-pilot and he walked to the back of the plane to check it out. And as he reached the tail section, the plane hit an air pocket, which threw the pilot against the rear door. And that's when he learned, in the worst possible way, that the original noise that he heard was caused by an improperly latched rear door. And the impact of his body against the door caused it to open, and he was instantly sucked out of the tiny jet. And that's all the time we have this week, so I'll tell you the rest of the story when we're together next week. To be continued. No, the co-pilot saw the warning light indicating an open door, so the co-pilot radioed the nearest airport and requested permission to land. And he assumed that the pilot had fallen from the plane. And after the plane landed, the ground crew found the pilot holding on to the outdoor ladder of the aircraft. I mean, like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. The guy somehow held on for 10 minutes at up to 200 miles an hour and the descent from 4,000 feet. And when the plane landed, his head was just 12 inches from the runway. Now, this entire story is fascinating, but my favorite part of the story is a line at the end of the article that read, "It took airport personnel several minutes to pry the pilot's fingers from the ladder." Oh, I bet it did. And friend, listen. If you are holding on for dear life to the money that God wants you to consider His, and some of which He wants you to share, do not require someone to pry it from your fingers when your life is over. Use it as a resource now. Do what Jesus commanded. Jesus said, you can store up treasure in heaven. You can't take it with you, but you can send it ahead. You can store it up in heaven by giving it to God, by giving it to other people. That's what wise people do with money. So give cheerfully, give hilariously, give generously, and watch the ways that God keeps His promise and ensures that you have more than you need.